What's going on, guys? I am on my way to the store, but before I pulled off, I wanted to make a short video. At least I hope it's going to be short. I'm hoping that I can keep this under like 15 minutes. Um, I wanted to talk about three individuals, and excuse me if I'm talking really fast because I'm trying to make this short, quick, and to the point. I wanted to talk about three individuals. Well, mainly one, no, two. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, we're going to play it by ear. The individuals that I wanted to talk about, I don't know personally. I've never had a conversation with them. I've only witnessed them in action on YouTube. So I've either listened or watched their behavior. And that's the only thing I have to go on. So this is going to be based on my opinion of watching and listening to these people. I'm not going to speak of them in any order. The first person I want to speak about is Symone Tyler. Symone Tyler I found to be an interesting person. I subscribed to Symone Tyler and was a subscriber of her for about a month until she said something about I beat for dollars. And I was like, what? No, I don't do that. You too old for that, girl. No. You need to be a little bit more mature than that. Beat for dollars, really? So I unsubscribed to Symone quickly because people who do stuff like that will engage in unnecessary drama. And no, I don't have time for that. In listening to her, it took me to Mona Symone. Mona Symone, I then subscribed to because, she passed herself as an intellectual, an empath, and a life coach. And I thought that was interesting to have an empath that was a life coach. That person could really take you to a higher level. And the reason I say that because I'm an empath, and I'll explain that later. But listening to Nicole led me to Mona Symone. Mona Symone is going to be one of the people that we talk about, but I'm going to take you back to Nicole. I unsubscribed to Nicole for the beefing for dollars, and I became to be aware that she's somewhat of a flip-flopper, which means to me that she has no true internal self-worth and self-value. Because when you're a flip-flopper, you're looking for validation. Whether you get it from a person that's wrong and rude or offensive, they're validating you, so you're going to lean towards them. When that validation doesn't work or people start coming against you, you're going to leave that person because that's not the validation you want. You want the validation in the right control group. So when things went awry on the TS and VS side, and she noticed she was getting more thumbs down and thumbs up, she had to let go of them because that validation is not the validation she wants. Now, let me tell you something. A flip-flopper is always looking for positive validation regardless of who they're getting that validation from. So I was like, okay, being that she's a flip-flopper, and I've had experience with flip-floppers, I know they can't be trusted. They don't even trust themselves. So I was like, and another thing that got me about Nicole, out of everybody that I watched, she was one of the oldest people in the group. When you get a certain age, things should click. Like, you can't say I'm above the drama and be engaged in the drama. You can't say, oh, I'm not about that mess, but be in the mess. You can't say I'm not about the drama and always be engaged in the drama. That's conflicting behavior. Anyway, so I hope Nicole finds her positive path and understands that all she needs is the validation from within, and the external validations will come because they'll get to know the true her. Next. Kwame. And the only reason I'm addressing this person is because I feel really bad for her. All she can say is, I didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up poor. And then attack people with things that they could not help when they were children, when they were vulnerable. So this person comes across as a black-hearted person, but because I used to be a person who would rather fight you than argue with you, and my life's motto was, you can't make me mad because I'm going to piss you off more than you ever think you can make me. I know that stems from hurt. I know that comes from hurt. That whole thing is a defensive behavior. And it's also somebody was putting a battery in her back and making her think that was okay. So it was an acceptance thing too. She thought she was gaining acceptance by being that malicious, and it backfired on her. So she didn't think her way through that situation at all. Her mouth just opened and shit just came out. Literally. And it hurt a lot of people. Let me tell you something. I didn't grow up poor. I grew up in a middle class household. I grew up in a middle-class household. My mom and her husband, my stepdad, purchased the house we grew up in. So I didn't grow up in a projects or an apartment or anything like that. I grew up in a house. But that doesn't mean I was happy. It doesn't mean I was happy. I didn't get free lunch because they made too much money. We didn't get food stamps. We was on no kind of social services. And it still didn't make me happy. Some of the best people I knew lived in the projects. Some of the best people I knew lived in the projects. Matter of fact, there was a girl up the street that I had to fight because she felt like she had more than me, and she got on my nerves always bragging, and one day she took it too far and I had to kick her tail. And I was like 13, 14, but still, because you have more than don't make you more than. I hope you get that. And then I hear that you followed VS to her hometown. Girl, you putting yourself in danger. Let me tell y'all something about this whole doxing thing that's going on. People doxing people, putting people legal addresses out there, going to people locations, putting people names out there. Y'all taking it too far. When y'all taking it off YouTube, y'all is taking it too far. Somebody can get hurt. And I'm going to say this. If you put somebody's address out there and then some psychopath goes to their house because they more invested in you than you know and go hurt that person, you should be held as an accessory to that crime. If that person experiences identity theft and then they find out that the information was leaked on YouTube, whoever leaked it should be held accountable as well. I don't agree with this doxing. Y'all taking this mess too far. These people have children out there. These people have children. Y'all playing with these people's children. This girl, Kwani, had the nerve to show up because she got my child live in San Diego. And I ain't saying that as an invitation or as a dare, but I'm saying you're not going to want to do that with some people. If that woman would have known that that was you standing behind her and her child, that could have went so differently. Y'all taking risks that it's not necessary. That's crazy to even think to do that. Anyway, offer her because she's a sad person who has poor morals. I'm just going to leave it there. She has poor morals. I don't care how much financial money she has. She has poor morals. So she is poor. She is poor. She has poor self-esteem. She has poor self-worth. She has poor self-value. She has poor morals. She is poor. Kwani, you are poor. You need to get enriched, honey. Get enriched. It feels so good when you like yourself. Anyway, on to the infamous. Last but not least, Mona Symone. Y'all, Mona, what did you do? So, I was a subscriber of Mona Symone until she recommended that people put, or suggested, that people put brains at the end of their name. I was like, wait a minute, it sounds like an indoctrination into a cult. I'm not doing that. See, you have to be very careful of people who disguise themselves as more than. Or people who want to take your identity away from you, who don't want you to have a rational thought or a critical thought. Yes, she says she wants critical thinkers, but did she really? Did she really? Now, I put Mona Symone's name in the search engine in YouTube. Y'all look what came up. So all these content creators are creating content because of Mona Symone. And I don't blame them. You don't pull a joke like that and then get offended that people are offended. Okay, so Fabe, Mona Symone, what a sick joke. Sweet Mom, Mona Symone fakes her suicide. Black YouTube Unlocked, the foolery. Tasha something else, and I guess Mona Symone in there too, because that's why she showed up when I put Mona Symone in there. Mona Symone, I don't understand. That is Tracy, Living My Best Life, Mona Symone, Big Pimpin', Black YouTube Unlocked. I mean, all this content from these creators was created because of Mona Symone's decision and direction. The things she said and she did. She can't blame anybody else for this but her. Her channel took the direction that she took it in. You can't say these people, because it's not them, it's you. Now, I was excited when I came across Mona Symone because she passed herself off as an empath. I am an empath. And as an empath, a true empath, Mona, we don't like to engage in drama. We kind of fade to black, and it takes our emotions in a downward spiral that we don't like to be. I could walk into a room and feel the vibrations and be like, oh, I got to get out of here. And I have to distance myself. That's what an empath is. Empaths normally don't stay engaged in foolery. And that was on Sweet Mom for Life's live. And she asked, I don't know if it was her or dad, was she aware that her wife did that? Let me answer this. Okay, so this is the thing she posted on her community. This comes under the Fair Act use. Let me just say this. So this is the thing she posted on her community on YouTube. So she posted this publicly. I'm using it to reference. I want y'all to look at it at the top. It says, Mona Symone the Brain. See? That means her wife had to have her user and password to get into her community tab to post that. Now, they want to play semantics. Okay, let's play. She said on here she never said she was dead. Let's play semantics. Why don't we? And she never said it. But damn it, she didn't imply it. This implies that this woman committed suicide. So, okay, technically, she didn't say Mona Symone was dead. Theoretically, she tried to lead us to believe that. No, she didn't post that the woman was dead here. She didn't post. It never said that she was dead. It never said that. But she implied it by her wording. Now, the brain should know when you suggest things or imply things that you give people the impression that you want them to believe. Case in point, how she get that money out that man? She implied some things. And he felt compelled to help. She didn't ask. But how many of you guys have friends, family members that call and say, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't know what I'm going to do. My light bill is due and I don't even have the money. And, I got these kids and I barely have any food, so I got to figure out how to feed them. And you hear this, and because you have a bleeding heart, you be like, okay, all right, how much is it? She realized the guy was vulnerable. She realized this guy was vulnerable, so she literally manipulated this guy. He was vulnerable. He said his parents just passed. He was looking to belong. He wanted to belong. That's how you get indoctrinated into these cults. Just wanting to belong because you yourself don't feel enough. That's how that man's life lesson cost him over $8,000. Not feeling enough. And I'm not blaming him at all. Because Mona Symone's title says the brain. She knew what she was doing. And let me tell y'all something else. Why is she asking people to put the brain? That was a disguise. That was a camouflage. When she wanted y'all to put the brain, I was like, I ain't doing that. That was some trickery. Let me tell you how it was trickery. She wanted y'all to think that y'all were individual thinkers and that y'all was going to let everybody know that y'all use y'all brain to think. Meanwhile, she was masquerading. Meanwhile, she was camouflaging. Meanwhile, she was gaslighting the hell out of y'all. And what I mean by that is, if I lead them to think that they're thinkers, then they'll let me think for them. I can get them to validate what I tell them. I can get them to believe whatever I tell them. If I make them believe that they are true thinkers, then I can get them to believe anything that I say intellectual enough that they should be thinking it too. See how that works? Meanwhile, she gaslighting y'all. Or, layman terms, y'all in the matrix. Y'all don't see what's really going on. Gaslighting basically means she's creating an illusion. Y'all are critical thinkers. Y'all can't go against my brains. And because she was so polished with her delivery of her information, you guys bought into it. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting. I worked in a hospital where I've watched people in power gaslighting. I'm like, that is not true. But a real critical thinker, a real truth critical thinker, a real brain, first of all, wouldn't have fell for that nonsense. Now everybody want to play victim. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. You're a willing participant. You're a willing participant. You willingly closed your eyes and got laid down the river. You threw your oars out the boat and said, lead me wherever you go, I will follow. That's how people wind up in cults. And don't realize they're in a cult until it's too late. I wasn't willing to give up my individuality to be a part of. I wasn't willing. I wasn't willing to give up who I am to put all my beliefs in what she believed. You can't take what I see and what I believe away from me. What are y'all doing? Y'all, this is YouTube. And let me tell you the funniest thing I saw today. April Walker. Oh my God, I'm going to put her link down below. Y'all, if this was not the funniest, oh my goodness. I mean, it was funny, but it was a mess. The message I saw the message. And baby girl was on point. She was on point. It was funny. And it was real. And I'm going to tell you something else too. I'm going to put her link down below. Y'all have got to see it. I thought about a lot of stuff that was going on with Mona Symone. And at the beginning, y'all noticed Mona always showed her face. But when suddenly she went into the hospital, she always had the picture of herself up on the bubbles. Let me tell y'all something. When y'all in the hospital, you can show yourself. I worked in a hospital. It is against the law for people to show you if you do not agree to it. HIPAA violation. But if you're in the hospital and you show yourself in the hospital bed, you're not violating anything. That's your choice. That's your choice. So she could have shown herself in the hospital. Back surgery. Think what you want, but back surgery, you up? Okay. All right. Like I said, that's that gaslighting thing that goes on. But I don't know Mona Symone at all. Never talked to her. I did super chat her $5 one time. Can y'all tell me something? I need somebody to explain to me. How was she passing herself as a life coach and always stayed in some mess? Life coaches don't be in mess. If you're a life coach, don't you try to tell people how to live their lives better? Well, according to what I was seeing, I wouldn't want her to be a life coach of mine because she was going to lead me into drama. As an empath and a life coach, you don't stay engaged in drama like that. And then to go after Sweet Ma, okay, let me tell y'all something. I don't know Sweet Ma. I just was on her live one time. I have watched her from the Tasha K thing. But I'm 50 years old. I'm not going to argue with nobody half my damn age. Mona, if I'm not mistaken, was in her 40s. Sweet Ma looked at least 20, maybe 7, maybe. So that means you got, what are you doing? Why would you even think about engaging in any drama with that young girl? My daughter 30. I got a son 31. I'm going to go argue with somebody that age? No, I don't think so. Not. Ain't going to do it. I'm going to walk away. Ain't got time. What am I going to argue with you for? She was literally going back and forth. I was like, this is... And I'm going to tell you something. Kudos to Sweet Mom because I'm like her. I'm going to pull out receipts on you. I ain't going to argue with you. Documentation beats conversation. What you say? You said what? I said what? When what? Look at this text message. Y'all tell me what. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll play with you for what? For what? Y'all, this is ridiculous. This whole YouTube beefing stuff is ridiculous. I just hope everybody involved finds a positive path out of it. I just chose to talk about 3 of them, but y'all, God, this is ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. How can you be engaged in such negativity and say, I'm a positive person? The two are conflicting. I hope each and every one of y'all find y'all way out of this. VS, I know a lot of people standing against you because, they say you did this and did that and did this. And if it's true, because I don't know the people and I don't know the situation, shame on you. However, I don't agree that anybody should have showed up where this woman was with her child and stood in line and took a picture. That is crazy to me. It shouldn't have happened. BS, if you're being stalked, honey, you need to protect yourself, especially if you got a little child. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, I'm not going to come on here and act like I agree with anything that I heard that she was doing. And too many people saying the same thing. But right is right, wrong is wrong. You don't go to somebody's where they're located and stand in line behind them and take a picture like, yeah, I've been here, I've been near that, I've been near her. Yep, let's see what's up. I can get to who I want to get to. You're going to get to the wrong person, Kwani. The wrong person. You're going to get you and somebody hurt playing them games. Those games are unnecessary. That's too far. That's why I say you have poor self-esteem, poor self-worth, and poor self-value. You are a poor person. You don't put yourself and others in jeopardy to prove what? Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. I just wanted to share my opinion of what I witnessed of this nonsense on YouTube. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it, and I probably won't speak on it again because I say what I said, I say what I meant, and I'm saying it from San Diego, California. Talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.